We just drink and drink. It's time to receive. It's time to receive. I'll tell you how this anointing is going to work. There are people that are here tonight, and your church, your ministry is on the verge of absolute bankruptcy, naturally and spiritually. You're going to close the doors. You're hanging on by a thread. Some of you, after 20 years of ministry, and if you do not get this touch of God, if you do not receive this wave of God's Spirit, you know it. There's nothing left. I'm telling you by a word of knowledge, there are ministers in this arena tonight that are so desperate and so hungry, on the verge of spiritual and natural bankruptcy. You came in absolute desperation. But I saw the glory of God. You know, this revival began in a church of a few hundred people. We had 700 seats. But when the glory comes, I want you to understand that when the glory comes, there's an opportunity, there's a grace of God that comes, a promotion that comes in the glory. And if you get under that anointing, if you get under that cloud, if you get under that spirit of grace and you step into what God's doing, and you don't reject the wave, and you say, my God, you're doing something new, and thank you for what you're doing on the earth, and thank you for what you've done, but my God, something's beginning to happen and I want to get in it now. I'm not talking about 2 years from now. I'm not talking about 5 years from now. God is looking for men and women that will carry this right now. Men and women, churches and ministries and cities and nations that will say, my God, I want it now. And I'm telling you, some people wait so long to draw the line. Am I really going to believe that what's happening in Lakeland is God? Am I really going to? And they draw the line and I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait. And they end up waiting for so long. And then there's others. There's others that are so hungry. And there's others that are so desperate. They have nothing to lose, no reputation to lose. And they just jump wholeheartedly into what God's doing. And they go, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I want it. I want it. I want it. And as God has begun to move over the last 48 nights, it kind of caught up to me today. And actually thought about, my God, this is happening so quickly. Roy, this anointing is global. And I said, my God, it's happening so quickly. And you can be overwhelmed by it. I mean, we're literally a nation of the world. I mean, potential, hundreds of millions watching. And I said, my God, this is what I've dreamed about. And the miracles in America, this is what I've dreamed about this day. And I've dreamed about the day that the dead would be raised, and in 48 days 12 testimonies of people raised from the dead. I said, my God, it's happening so quickly. And we've been preparing for more than a decade. And we've been talking about a day where this anointing will come, a great wave of power and miracle signs and wonders will come to the Western world, will come to America. And we've been talking about even a revival in which the dead being raised would be as commonplace as the deaf here. And how even the biggest churches would no longer be able to hold the revival. We'd end up in the stadiums, the open field. And you know, I realized today just how quickly they always say another level, another devil. And I just didn't quite understand. I thought there was warfare before, John. I thought, my God, people just don't understand. Things will never be the same again. And I told my wife, and I have realized naively, things for our ministry will never be the same again. We can never go back. And God has entrusted us with something that is so much bigger. I thought we're doing pretty good before. And the fear of God came, and I thought, my God. You know, what's happening in Lakeland is, without any exaggeration, it's kind of the thing that anybody and everybody's talking about, either good or negatively. You know what's happening here? You know, I got a phone call today from England. They said, Todd, did you know that on YouTube, the Lakeland revival is number 8 in the world of the most watched videos on the YouTube? I said, what? Number 8 most watched in the entire world. They're watching the Lakeland revival on YouTube. And I said, my telephone rings every day. I think I'm going to throw it away. You know, I got a call today from Lou Engle and The Call. And he said, Todd, we got up in Kansas City today. And I declared publicly in Kansas City today, Todd, that The Call, the movement, is behind the Lakeland outpouring, and we endorse it. And he said, it's time for us to begin to rally the intercessors around the world to pray for what's happening in Lakeland. That the revival would be birthed and that the revival would go everywhere. And I said, my God, there's so many people that are for what you're doing. It was such a different response than some of the other leaders I've talked to. It was, you know what we need to do? We need to pray that this thing would become such an end time world shaking revival that the entire world would be changed. And you know what? We need to pray that. People are, oh, is this really revival? Is it? Let's try to figure it out. Why don't you pray that it is? Why don't you want it to be? I cannot believe that there's people out there that don't want God to be moving in revival again. Oh no, just when we got over Pensacola, oh God, no, not again. Just when they thought, oh, it's dying down in Toronto.